If your federal government's broken, as opposed to, I don't know if I'm gonna post that. I don't know if that's gonna help. Your federal government is broken. You better hope you had the receipt. Hope you know how to fix the federal government. If your federal government breaks, I don't know, should I post that? That might make people upset. If your federal government murders people that disagree with it, it doesn't engage in intellectual discussion, it's broken. And if it's broken, there's only one way to fix it. It's not with the president, it's not with the Congress, not with the Senate. The only way to fix a broken federal government, people know all over the universe, is with the states. You can't fix a broken federal government with the federal government. You gotta go to the states. You gotta fix it from the outside. I love the analogy from last night. You have to shut it down. It's like an engine. You can't fix an engine while it's running. The engine's a murder machine. Murder. Everybody. Killing everybody. Blowing up things. Raping, killing, destroying, child trafficking. Prison industrial complex. You can't fix it from it because it is the it. You got to shut the engine down, constitutional convention, and get the states to fix it. And people say, but the states are corrupt. I say, yeah, the states are corrupt. Maybe the states are only corrupt enough to have a prison industrial complex. But right now, we got it all, like across the board. We are just demons, demonic everywhere. I'm not sure if I'm going to post that. I don't know if people even understand that the only way to fix the federal government is with the countries that are within the government. There are 50 countries. You need those 50 countries to fix it. The federal government is like the European Union. You have governments upon governments upon governments, slaver after slaver after slaver, layers on top of layers. You can shut the top layer down from the layer above it. But I don't think we should have any layers, personally. This is where we are. People still believe in government. I want to talk about weaponized lazy. We a lazy bunch. Who was that? Brother Sean said that last night. Talking about lazy. Oh, they weaponized our lazy, didn't they? Because everybody wants this. Like, have you ever seen, well, not everybody. Everybody wants this in concept. Conceptually, this is the Venus Project. You guys familiar with the Venus Project? Love the Venus Project. Love to death. We all can have utopian-ish direction. Right? It's not a utopia. There's no such thing as utopia. You will not get utopia on psychopathic planet. There's no utopia, but we can keep going in the right direction. We pause things for too long, we need to restart. You're not a follower of the Venus Project. You absolutely should be. The Venus Project is so important. It's delicious and nutritious. The Venus Project is using automation to fix the world's problems. You know, that thing that the cavemans did. Turn the volume down. The thing that the cavemans did. They used automation to fix problems. They used a wheel and fire and rocks and sticks, things like that. They made their, because it wasn't so much lazy. They weren't lazy as we are. They didn't like dinosaurs eating them and stuff, I guess. I don't know. But they used those things for the collective good of all the cavemen. Unga bunga. We don't. We don't. We make a car, we want to keep it to ourselves. Do you let your neighbor drive your car? Right, I know. You don't let your neighbor drive your car, do you? Nope. I know you don't. I know you don't. Because we're all hypocrites. That's how I know. Because the elites don't let you drive their cars. You don't have a Maserati or Ferrari. They do something called pricing it out of the slave market so the slaves can't buy it. I know, just the way you price it out of your neighbor's market. People don't want to share. But we can build a better world. We can completely build a better world. We got all the technology, we got all the automation, all the robotics. We just don't have the people to understand that we need to be as smart as cavemen. And share a cart, share a rock. All right, good morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning? All right, I turned the music down. Are we good? Somebody said that yesterday. Who said that yesterday? Somebody on YouTube. Who was that? Is that Brother Sherman? Who said that? Somebody said that on YouTube. Is the music fine? We good? Venus Project is amazing. Yes, Lori, it is. It is amazing. And I want to look at the news, but I know what y'all gonna do to me. We ain't gonna look at the news. I know we ain't gonna look at the news, because y'all want me to look at the news. I saw what you did yesterday. I saw what you did. Like, oh, just keep sending comments. Y'all probably send private messages. No, we don't want to look at the news. The news is too crazy. We don't even want to bother with it. It's just stupid. I mean, even RT is kind of losing it. You know, looking between the cracks gets a little annoying too. Hang on. Somebody said something. Let me see. Prayer quote for the day. May God steal from you everything that steals from him. Ew, Rabbi of Basra. May God steal from you everything that steals from him. Ooh, see, Ron, that's that share stuff, man. You get in trouble for that. That's that belief, that's the understanding that everything on the planet's stolen. That's that belief that we're all hypocrites and that it doesn't belong to us, that we're one energy, that we're all God-ish. We're all one family. We're all one ecosystem. And everything that you stole should be stolen from you. And I know, Ron, everything I own is stolen. Everything I own is stolen. I'm just trying to use stolen goods to do some good. You know what I mean? I try to look at hypocrisy everywhere. The climate change hypocrisy, oil hypocrisy, the hate the billionaire, but you're a little thousandaire wannabe hypocrisy. And vegan hypocrisy too. Here's my vegan smoothie. I went out to the garden, Ron, this morning. I got my lettuce. I needed a real green one this morning. Real green. A little spicy. I don't even know what I threw in it, Ron. I have an aquaponic bin. I just throw a whole bunch of greens in there. And some from the grocery store. I didn't grow enough this year. But there are little bugs on the lettuce outside. And I decided not to wash them. I was feeling kind of murdery this morning. A murdery vegan meal. You know, because we're hypocrites and we got to be honest with our hypocrisy. Right? We got to stop judging each other. It's the only way we build a better world. It's the only way we get to this Venus project. We can live in sync with the ecosystem. We can be a part of the ecosystem. We got the technology to do it. We just don't have the education, the love, and we got the know-how. We got all of that. You know, we just can't figure out how to love each other, how to recognize what Brother Ron is saying right there, that we're all a part of a whole. All a part of a whole. Good morning. I did turn the music down. Am I back in comments? Are we good? Are we good on the music? I don't see. Are we good on the music? Nobody said nothing about y'all. This is interactive, people. It's supposed to enter and act. Not like on the TV. Enter and act. Let me see. I'd stay, but I'm. Oh, whoa, Ty, what the hell? You don't ever take a break, do you? You're gonna lose something. You just slow down. Slow down. It's a little too early in the morning. It's still too early in the morning for that. It's never too early in the morning for that. But yeah, the Venus project is amazing. Good morning. Let me see. We have abundance. We just don't have enough brains and self-preservation. You're right, Lori. We're self-destructive. We have to stop. We let them weaponize our lazy. When I say that, y'all know what I'm talking about? You know, these cell phones and cars and don't want to grow no food and, don't want to go out and change your world, pulling these levers, outsourcing being an adult, not having a red line in the sand. Good morning. Being lazy. Sending kids to go fight your wars that end in like gangs of rape and warlords, not going out to fix gun control, right? Because gun control isn't the issue, it's human control. You can fix that, you just gotta love people, you gotta feed them, give them houses and stuff. Stop abusing these kids with your economic system. But it's easy. It's easy for people just to be lazy and outsource it, and they cater to that, and that's what the television is. Every problem on the planet is us. The planet's not broke. It's being broken down. Who's breaking down the planet? The billionaires, the government. We are them. And everything they do, we do on the house level. Somebody tell me one thing government doesn't do. Government does, because everybody here is the anti-establishment for the most part. Name one thing the government does that we don't do. One thing, anything. I'm just curious. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're not all hypocrites. Maybe we do have someone to blame other than ourselves in our mirror. Maybe we wouldn't be them if we weren't in their shoes. Like I had a good talk last night with Brother Sean. He's a Bernie guy. I told him he thought the interview was going to go rough. It's not going to go rough with me. I don't blame anybody but myself. I have no issue. I don't trust Bernie. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust Obama. I don't trust Clinton. Damn sure I don't trust no Oprah. I don't trust none of these people. Then again, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust my kids. You trust people with what they're trustable with, Trust people with what they're trying. You don't have to blame the government. We are the government. We keep voting them back. We keep them. We could have a constitutional convention, throw them out. We could throw the bankers out. Switzerland did that. We're choosing not to. Why? Because our lazy is weaponized. They use television to show us how to be lazy. Damn it, I don't want to go mine for my diamonds. I take the blood diamonds. No, you know every diamond's a blood diamond. You know, right? Look at your ring. All the wives out there, y'all out there. Look at your ring. Yeah, this is my baby done bought that. Yes, he did. After some slaves done picked it. Why? Because you needed a big diamond. You was too lazy to go get it. You should have told him to go get the diamond. Said, baby, see, that's real love. That's real love. And that's going to be some real talk right now. That's real love when you stop being lazy, when the husband stop being lazy. Say, damn it, baby, I want a diamond. 3 carats, and I need you to show me your love and go get it. Boy, marriage would like fall. You would see a marriage not getting married apocalypse. They're like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna go to Africa and I'm gonna go digging in some caves. I'm gonna go get on a flight, fly to Africa, fly to the land where America's funneling all of its weapons with Britain and France and the rest of them to keep it a third world country, to keep it destabilized. So rape is a household name, right? America, the West, Rothschild banking. They're gonna get off the airplane like, yeah, damn it. Shoot, I need to get some diamonds. Damn it, I love that woman. I do. I love that. This is what I think. I don't think y'all getting married. That's what I think. Because I think you get to the town where you go dig for the diamonds. You're like, yeah, you know what? I done rode a bus and a helicopter, rode on something I think was a donkey or a cow or something. I done got here and everybody got guns and they were made in my country. They all got my tax dollar guns and one of them looking at me kind of funny, like he's looking at, yeah, you know what, honey? You know what? Maybe we need to just go back to dating. Weaponized lazy. I know women don't like that. They don't like it. I know. But everything we got is stolen, like Ron said. Everything we got is stolen. Our lazy is weaponized because TV, they show us sexy things that we can get for robbing and killing people and sending all the government off to go do it. But that's why I like the Venus Project, right? It's the idea of using technology to solve our lazy, right? Our lazy, because it's not based in lazy, it's become lazy because we're so indoctrinated to ignore everybody on the planet but America. We're so indoctrinated. Ain't nobody else on the planet but Australia. Ain't nobody else on the planet but Britain. Ain't nobody else on the planet but France, right? You know, we can do anything we want and it doesn't affect everybody else. That apathy and that indifference. But, you know, they take our need for an easier life, right? Because life is hard. Life is hard. Like Bob Marley said. What Bob Marley say? I was in this morning. He said that they designed the world so hard. Well, let's say it the right way. They designed their world so hard that we got to fight every day. People dying every day. That's not an accident. That's a decision. That's a damn design. Why? Because if you keep the dumb monkeys fighting each other, they won't think about building a better world. They're thinking about robbing their neighbor and being indifferent to somebody else. And that's how the banks would work. We talked about that a few days ago. But they abuse that fear. And they abuse our fear of not having. And now we have so much. Now they abuse our laziness, right? We got enough to share. We got enough to take care of everybody. We're just choosing not to. Because we're lazy. We got nice sofas and couches and we don't live under New York City. I'm not gonna let that go. I ain't gonna let it go. I'm gonna tell everybody in New York I know. Every time I meet somebody from New York, you know y'all got people under your city, right? Do you know that? Are you aware of this? You got people under your city? You need to fix that. Well, how do we fix it? Well, first of all, you got this thing called the federal government. It literally prints the money and it ain't yours. I mean, you got it, meaning it's over top of you, but it's not yours. It belongs to the billionaires. And there's something that fixes them, and it's called a state, right? It's called a country state, nation state, 50 states. When the federal government breaks down, they're supposed to go in and fix it. They're the mechanics. They're the ones supposed to say, hey, the check engine light on. Y'all murdering Yemen. Hey, the check engine light on. You're murdering women. The check engine light on. You're making women wear tape over the nipples. The check engine light is on. You need to bring that in for service. Got to bring it in for service. And you take it in for service. Why? See, I think if you really pay attention to like how all of the matrix works together, the federal government prints the money and they bribe the states. Why do they bribe the states? So the states are lazy. See, the states can't come up with creative ways to drive their economy, to make money on sales tax and leave the people alone. And so the states were always poor until that federal government started printing away the future and enslavement of our children through debt. And they tell them, say, well, you know what? You can have this little money. It's like a pimp. You can have this money if you do this. They pimp the states up because the states are the only ones who can fix them. And so it highly motivates the states not to fix them. Why? Because it's weaponized lazy. It's not just us that's weaponized. They use it to weaponize the states. All right. We do the same stupid things repeatedly. We do, Lori, because we fear change. I don't know why that is. Somebody tell me why. Why do human beings fear change so damn much? We do. We fear change. We're scared of change. We got that fear. We need to stop fearing change. Oh, is that Brother David? What's going on, David? David Frank. With one voice. I'm going to say it wrong. I know there's one voice. Post a link, brother. Onevoice.org. Onevoice.org. I was talking about you last night to Brother Sean. I told Brother Sean to tell Bernie about One Voice right now. And I need to tell my Trump friends, y'all need to tell Trump about it. You need to tell people about direct democracy. That's why I think that's how you can fix it. But, you know, people, they like their lazy. They like their apathy. Let me see. Explain the Venus Project to the ones who are not familiar with it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Ivana. Yes, ma'am. See, after my friends tell me what to do, I'm going to stop being y'all slave in a minute. I don't know, maybe not today, because we got a world to try to save, but I'm going to stop being y'all slave in a minute. Venus Project. So it was put together by Roxanne and Jacque Fresco. Right? It's this idea, and it's not new. This goes back to when we knew we could fix the world. It goes back to the 60s and 70s. Where he understood that we can live in one with nature. We can live in sync with nature. We're not overpopulated, we're overstupulated. We're stupid. We don't have too many people, we have too many billionaires. We don't have resource issues, we have resource allocation problems, right? And so you take the resources and the automation, and this is with like 60s technology we could have done this. Now we're, what is it, 2020? 2020. Damn it, 50, 60 years later. We got learning software and AI and 3D printing robots and cars and houses. We can build a new world. Let me find a Venus Project for you. Man, I've been told what to do. I listen to everybody. Because you're right. New people join, they have no idea what we're talking about. And this is the Venus Project right here, right? That's Jacque Fresco right there, right? So the idea, and this is my industry, right? Automation, software engineering, and robotics, right? Utilizing the current tools of the day to help the entire human race. Building sustainable cities that are built with automation. Building homes. Let me show you one of these sexy homes. I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna live. This is where I'm gonna live. If we don't all die, I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna live. Hang on, it's over here somewhere. This is where I'm gonna live. 3D printing boat houses. You see the boathouse right here? Look at this right here. Boom! Boathouse. This is me right here. This is where I'm gonna live. Right here. But ain't nobody, nobody can else be on my boathouse. No, you can't be. I know it's like different apartments here, fruit trees growing. You know, you can 3D print this. You could literally 3D print that. We don't choose to because we want to 3D print bombs and go blow people up and rob them. But we could 3D print that, send me out on the ocean, y'all never have to hear from me again. But we can build that in the future and it won't cost you nothing. See, the Democrats and Republicans, they used to have a debate a long time ago, and now they're lying to y'all because the debate is no longer on. They used to say, one side would say, we need to take care of everybody. It's kind of lying about that because they weren't trying to take care of nobody. The other side, yeah, okay, maybe. Jesus did say that, but damn it, we ain't got the money. You ain't taxing me. And they're lying about that because they ain't want to pay for it. Even if Jesus wasn't paid for it, they still didn't want to do it. Why? Because now we can take care of everybody. We got the resources and the money and the robotics to do it all. We're just choosing not to do it. But that's what the Venus Project is. So it's building a whole world using automation. It's retiring all of you slaves so that y'all can go, I don't know, raise your kids or something, go fishing. I don't know what you want to do. Tractor pull, go play some Sega or something. Is Sega still a game station thing? I think it is. But 3D printing, using automation to build cities, right? And so I'll post a link or somebody else post a link for the Venus Project. There are a couple documentaries that kind of explain it, right? Utilizing robots to build and repair the city. Building cities on sustainable models where the houses are in between trees, where the deer can run. Using things like drones to fly people around. In fact, they barely talked about drones. Jacque Fresco was an amazing, forward-thinking guy. where he even talked about drones back then, but we have the drones now. So instead of building roads, you're flying to the places you gotta go. Your pizza is flown to you, but it's gotta be organic and natural. And he even touched on that, like growing organic without chemicals, sewer treatment, electronics, plumbing, things not being built for planned obsolescence. People say, well, you can't do that because cars break down and houses, because they're built for planned obsolescence. I am literally in a building right now that, damn it, was built a couple hundred years ago and it's still standing. Still standing. Built out of some damn rocks and stones with people that didn't have laser levelers and 3D printing software and whatever. And nowadays, you think that six home builders build 80% of the houses in the United States? And the damn things can't stand for 10 years without cracking foundations and broken pipe work and electronics breaking down. You're trying to tell. So think about that. It's called planned obsolescence, right? Do you think for a minute that construction companies are that stupid, or do you think they just like money? What do you think it is? It's called planned obsolescence. They cut the corners because they don't care, because they can make more money, and they don't put out the best technologies because the sooner they break down, the more work they get, right? It's not their fault. It's not their fault. We built a society that's designed for us to be greedy little bastards, little billionaire bastards. All the psychopathy, none of the billions. But that's what the Venus Project is. It's an engineer who came up with these concepts. He did some amazing drawings. And I think they started work on a facility in Florida. Roxanne still has the project going, but it's in sync with the Zeitgeist movement, Ubuntu movement, the belief that we can free the human race. Look at that, I don't want to be free right there. See the angry faces? That's people they don't want to be. I don't want to be free, damn it. It's all this free nonsense. I don't want to be free. That's somebody that's a little high on the hog. That's somebody born a little high on the hog. They want to keep all the slaves beneath them, right? Because we have economic systems to keep us in competition with each other. But he was talking about no money, no laws. Freeing the human race. He was talking neuroscience and natural behavioral science. He did these weird things like called listening to professionals, not making it up as you go like your politicians, just lying to people to keep them in conflict. Everybody coming together and doing what you do best, because you do it best because it's your passion, right? But start 3D printing homes. And we can start this any day we choose. We can start 3D printing apartment buildings. We can start using robotics to build floating ships. You like to be on the ocean, then you should go live on the ocean. But doing it in sync with nature, right? With the monkeys and the bears and the bees and biodiversity and these things y'all call weeds that you hate in your grass. A weed, you know what a weed is? A weed is a plant growing where nature tells it to, okay? I know you think a weed is a bad thing. A weed isn't a bad thing. You are a bad thing. The only thing that doesn't fit on earth is us, because we're stupid. We don't understand that the bees need the grass. They need the wildflowers and the weeds. Those are things they use to help pollinate the plants that we use to eat. They fit in. But the weeds, they pop up because you have an excess in nitrates. We don't want to get through it. This is how the fertilizer companies tricked y'all into growing unsustainable food-ish. Dumping a bunch of fertilizer in the ground, a bunch of nitrates, so you get explosion of weeds, so they can sell you the chemicals to kill the weeds. They didn't tell you the chemicals gonna kill you later because they're all carcinogen, right? And so it's money after money. That's planned obsolescence and weaponized stupidity. But weaponized lazy. That's why the farmers did it. There are no farmers. There are very few farmers today. They're not farmers. They're chemical plant kind of grower thingies. And so that was another thing the Venus Project talked about, right? Growing natural, using the soil biodiversity. Big words like ecosystem, not drone warfare. But a time of peace, right? A time of peace. We have the technology to bring in peace. We are not at peace within ourselves. And because we're not at peace within ourselves, our government ain't never gonna be in peace. We're not in peace. We still got people out there fighting each other, neighbors fighting neighbors, crazy stuff. But that's what the Venus Project is. Click a link, somebody post a link, go on over there and check them out. I didn't want to talk about the Venus Project. I want to talk about weaponized lazy. We have to stop being lazy. Sometimes you got to go out and pick a weed if you got to. You ain't gonna pick all of them. It's designed that way. Weeds are nitrogen fixing. They fix the soil. They pull excess nitrates out of the soil so that your perennials can grow, so that your fruits and vegetables can grow. so that the microbiology can live well in the soil without too many nitrates. Why? Because the microbiology through mycorrhizae fungi feeds the plant's root system. So your apple has the medicinal things it needs. Is that Daniel? So your cannabis has the has the THC to keep Daniel a happy camper. All right, let me see. The only difference of opinion I have between Gerard and Sean is the voting. Oh, I heard between, but yeah, right. That's the only thing Sean and I disagree on, Lori. We just disagree on the voting part. Other than that, Sean is on. I was actually very impressed. I didn't know that Sean did that conspiracy theory podcast I watched a long time ago. And so I don't have, like I said, I don't have an issue with Bernie. I just don't trust the system that you're injecting Bernie into. I don't have an issue with Trump. We made Trump. We made Bernie. We made Obama. We made all these people. I have full confidence in the passion of the people behind those people. Where we get off is that you're putting them into a system that will allow them to do the things that they talk about. That's where we are. That's the only spot we disagree. And unfortunately, that's because the government lied to them much. I can't vote for a government with secrets. And that's the other thing. Like, why can you not have privacy, but they can have privacy? Because they're up to something. That's why. They're always up to something. They've always been up to something. And I don't believe in voting blind. All right? But it was a good talk. I was very impressed. We have a lot in common in terms of we need to move forward. And the interesting thing, too, is, and this is why I can talk to Sean. I can't talk to him, many of the other ones. I can talk to Sean. Because Sean is honest. He wasn't blowing sunshine up Bernie's booty hole. He said Bernie got problems. I think he even said he didn't trust Bernie, right? See, my problem is the adults that got on the super rules, the under rules. That's my problem. My problem is the adults, you're over 10 years old and you have an adult hero, But Sean, I think his delving into the conspiracy theory part, it allowed him to have a distrust of government, a government that you should not trust, one that you shouldn't be cheering for its leaders and it like it's Michael Jackson on stage. You cheer for Michael Jackson? How did that turn out? Okay, you cheered for Bill Cosby. How did that go for the women he drugged? Right? You don't cheer people into psychopathy. And you damn sure don't cheer a governmental system into becoming a psychopath or building a psychopathic model of murdering other people and stealing what they got. All right. Trust Okra 2020. Hell no, Beaufont. You burn it. That's the only thing that's not allowed. The Venus Project is no okra. Jacque Fresco, we're going to have to talk from the grave. Hell no, ain't going to be nothing. Not in my house. No. We got edibles there. The deer, they're going to have to starve. If they eat okra, they're going to starve over there because they ain't putting that in my garden. That's because cross-pollination. I'm not having no okra cross-pollinate with my tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers. Hell no. I don't want that flavor nowhere. That slugs need to stay in the ground. They're a part of the ecosystem. You're not supposed to grow it off of a plant. Programming is weaponized laziness. Absolutely, Janet, we're programmed. We're programmed to be lazy. The problem is we have to admit that we are. We have to admit, I'm lazy. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me too. We are programmed to be lazy. It's like kids growing up in the Philippines, right? Kids growing up in the poorest neighborhoods you can think of. They're creative. They know how to solve problems. They know how to go out in nature and pick things and eat them. Most of us have no damn idea. You send us out in nature to go pick some. We're going to die tomorrow. We're going to be dead. We're going to be eating, half the people eating poison ivy, the others chewing on and cooking up and boiling up poison oak. We're lazy, right? I can go out and take a course in how to forage, but I'm not. Damn it, I don't feel I should have to. Damn it, Giant right down the street. The hell I'm going to do that for? I got an aquaponics. I'm trying, though. That's the only thing, Janet, I think the difference is I'm trying. I'm failing. I'm failing to still 5-year-old in Venezuela can grow more food than I can, but damn it, I'm giving it a shot. Oh, shoot. All right, anyway. We're programmed to be lazy, but that's why you can't hate on anybody. That's why you can't judge anybody. What the hell is going on with YouTube this morning? Did I mess up? Did YouTube go live? Yeah, YouTube. Oh, okay. It's not working here. Or they're not saying nothing. I can see people over there. All right. Boom. YouTube, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Oh, that's my thing. Hang on, wait. Boom. I can't look at that picture. If I look at that picture, it's gonna piss me off. That's the only time you're gonna get pissed off out of me. When I see these kids, what's her name? Shakira? I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. That's the only time. I don't have many triggers. Y'all know I don't have many triggers. My triggers are the kids. As long as y'all leave them alone, y'all could probably get me to be an apathetic bastard too. But y'all not leaving the kids alone. That's why I got problems. I got issues for the tissue, but I try to stay away from that. That's that little girl they bombed her face off. You know you're going to hell for that, right? Y'all, I don't know if you know that. I just want to let you know. You going to hell. Now, I don't know, God might bring you back, but he said he's going to put a millstone around your neck and throw you to the bottom of the ocean. I know you say, but I go to church on Sunday. I know you did. They church and go with you. They make stones that big. The megalith structures, they make stones that big. Your whole church, they can get all of them. Just wrap ropes around and throw them to the bottom of the ocean. But can't hurt kids. I think we have to adopt that philosophy of do no harm, ever. Ever. Adopt the philosophy of do no harm. And understand that everything you do is harming somebody because the world is made that way. Everything you do is harm. I'm drinking a coffee right now. You know, somebody got paid 2 cents a day to grow to 2 cents a year to grow my coffee. I'm doing harm right now, right here. The paint on the damn cup, they done murdered somebody and stole it from them. Everything you do, this is a psychopathic world, y'all. We got central banking. This is how it works. They design the world so everything you do is harmful to somebody else. We are either trying to do less harm or we're happy with how things are today. And that was my point last night to Sean, is as long as you are in, what is that called? What is that called in the military? It's called a fire pit. What is that called when y'all get in that hole together? Foxhole. Y'all know what a foxhole is? Let's get off the Venus Project for a minute. Foxhole. You know what a foxhole is? Boom, boom, boom. Well, look, I got my military people here. I know they don't say nothing because they're not supposed to watch nothing like that. They're going to lose that bonus. They're not going to let them in the BX. I grew up in a military family. I'm very aware. All right, I know people can't say stuff. That's why we got a bunch of people here that you never see them post anything. And every now and then I get a little message like, yeah, you're saying the right things, but I can't say nothing. I'll lose my damn job. All right, foxhole right here. Boom. Not a good example. But a foxhole, let me go down. It's in the military, right? When you're fighting a war, foxhole, right? When you're fighting a war, when somebody else is fighting a war on drugs against you, when somebody else is fighting a war on cancer and trying to give you cancer, when somebody else is fighting a war on domestic violence, trying to make your husband more violent by raising more violent kids, by starving them in trailer parks and ghettos, when somebody's fighting a war against you and y'all call them, I don't know, government, you're supposed to be shooting in the right direction, right? And so my analogy with, hang on. I want to get multiple people in a foxhole. My analogy with Sean is like this. Here we go. Kids teach it. Kids, they don't lie. You ask them a question, they tell you the truth. They understand these kids right here. You're in the foxhole and you're fighting. Somebody's shooting at you. You're in the foxhole, and you are in a foxhole with probably, let's say, 7 billion people. Because the 0.001%, they not in the foxhole. They shooting at the foxhole. You're in a foxhole with 7 billion other people. Now, some of the dummies in the foxhole knifing each other because they got white skin, and they're knifing somebody because they got a Muslim hat on or something. Muslims, y'all wear hats? Somebody else knifing somebody else because they say they're a Jew, and somebody knifing, and we're in the damn foxhole, and they're like shooting mortars at us, called keep medicine from them by banning cannabis, right? And so there are people in the foxhole who are like stabbing us in the back while we're trying to shoot at the enemy. We're trying to free the people. We need to end this money thing. It's making everybody crazy. No, money's not bad, but it's making everybody weaponized lazy if they have more than the neighbor. We're shooting. Now, some people are shooting this way, some people shooting that way, right? They're different bushes. You can't see. It's dark at night, right? They're attacking us at night. That's why the Federal Reserve attacks us at night. That's why they bought the federal government to attack us. We can't really see. I think I kind of see because I was grown this way and I'm looking in that bush And I'm thinking the problem is the Federal Reserve. And somebody else is in another bush looking over there. Sean thinks the problem, maybe, I don't know. Does he think the problem are the Republicans and somebody else in another bush and they think the problem is the Democrats? So everybody's shooting at the right thing. Everybody's shooting at a thing, right? But we have to kind of hone in and get the logistics, right? The logistics. Like that's how you end a war. You can keep shooting the bad guys all you want, and it's got another bad guy. Shoot that bad guy, 2 pop up. Shoot that bad guy, some more pop up, more pop. It's like the Vietnam War. That's why the Vietnamese hid underground, because every time you took one out, 3, 4, 5 more popped out. So what they would do, and they did in the Vietnam War, is they hired a company, a murderous cartel called Monsanto, to spray on the people's logistic trails and the people fighting them, what y'all put on your garden. That's what y'all do. I caught my brother doing that. Did I tell y'all that? I caught my brother. He had the glyphosate. He's out there spraying it on my mama, on her, I forgot that ground cover name. She's out there spraying on the guy. Well, we're trying to kill this. You trying to kill this? You trying to kill mama? You dummy. Don't you know that that's a carcinogen? But he believes the system. I love him to death, but he believes the system. But yeah, so they took and they sprayed it on the enemy. and the sick thing, here's the sick thing. The sick thing is the Vietnam kids are still being born to their birth of day. They sprayed so much of that stuff your farmer is spraying on your crops right now. It's spraying in the grocery store that you're spraying at your house. They sprayed that's in the water that you're drinking. It's in my coffee because y'all won't stop spraying it. They sprayed it on the enemy. But they got the company to go do that. Why? To break the logistics. Why? Because if you poison the people who are carrying the weapons, the guns and the ammo and all of that stuff going down in the hole, popping up, then you could win the war. Now, they ain't spray everybody, and they sure didn't bomb all the logistics because they weren't trying to win the Vietnam War. They wanted a long-term war. They wanted to kill everybody for rubber plantations, because you had another company called Michelin. They needed the rubber. That's what it was about. There was no freedom and democracy. But the point is logistics, right? You break the logistics, right? And that's why you have strategists in wars, right? You have strategists in the military, right? Because the infantry, you get them out there, you tell them what to do, and you send this infantry that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, and they're firing this way, that way, that way. And you got the strategists who sit back and say, okay, what's going on? 30,000 foot level. You know, you got these people attacking the Democrats, that's not helping nothing. You got those people attacking the Republicans, that ain't helping nothing. You got these people, they were going after Obama, that didn't help nothing. You got those people going after Trump, that didn't help, it's not changing nothing. The hell is that? Is that a central bank? The hell is that central bank? Oh my goodness, they're printing money. What the hell? We're not gonna win this because they keep printing the money. And as long as they print the money, they can bribe everybody. All the leaders and politicians, okay. And that's how it goes in a war, right? I think there's some people who are shooting at the wrong bush, and it's not really helping. It might be delaying things. It might be slowing the enemy down, but it's not stopping them. You want to look at the logistics. You want to break the source of their power, and that ends the war. Oh, there you go, one right there. It's like, hell no, I'm going to get that Trump. I hate Trump, that bastard. He's doing everything different from Obama. It's like, nope, he's doing the same damn thing. Same thing. Work for the same people. And if he does anything different that he's not told to do, he will be in a casket with JFK, because that is how these people get down. They are not here to play with you. They are here to enslave you and everybody that believes in their system. So, but everyone's shooting a different way. And I think we need to be more strategists. We need to be more strategic, you know, saving the human race and taking them to something like the Venus Project. You're not going to get there playing checkers if your enemy is playing chess. You got to play chess. You got to have a strategy. You got to hit them at the root. Damn it. That's how Monsanto kills your garden. Through the roots. They give you that pesticide and kills all the microbiology in soil and fungi. All right. I don't know how y'all got me on that rant this morning. Or did I get me on that rant? Who asked that question? I don't know who put me there. So I'm going to do some comments. This is, I didn't get to the news again today. Dang, who's that? Christ came in late. Hey, Christ. All right, Christ is late, y'all. Don't say nothing. We was talking about you early. We talked over. So I can say that, and she'll go back and watch the whole thing. This is so much power. Nobody should have this power. Nobody should have this. Nobody should have any power. Power should not exist. Nobody should have any power over you, which is why I explained to Sean in the very beginning of that discussion. This is not a debate. I'm not a debater. Why am I going to debate about what Sean knows? That's stupid. Why would I debate a Trump voter about what they know and what they experience? All their experiences are valid. I'm not going to debate them about what they experience and the data they have so far. That's a narcissistic, sociopathic idea of debating. I was on the debate team, too. I was on the debate team. That's how I know I was a little psychopath. I was a little narcissistic sociopath. Oh, I had to win, too. Mama and Daddy had my back. We used to get out there and debate. I'm not interested in that anymore. I understand that that's conflict, right? That's what they want. They don't care if I win the debate or Sean wins the debate. They don't care if Trump people win the debate or the Republicans the debate. They don't give two damns about that. They own everything. They own the water. They own the land. They own the food. They own the farms. They own the air. Damn it, they're saying they own the rain. Okay? So I debated my whole life. I was actually pretty good at it. Now I understand that I was just a part of the system. I was a slave. I wasn't helping nothing. I was helping nothing. Literally trying to help myself. Literally. Now I kind of figured that out. You need to leave people alone. Leave people alone. You need to have enough respect and love for each other. And that's our only way out of this. You got to respect people. And you don't respect people you debate because you're trying to beat them in things that where they are in their life at that time with their brain capacity, the information they have, who they've been exposed to. And to me, that's like using privilege, right? Why would I use my privilege and my debating skills to beat somebody I need to work with? I could be wrong. He could float the idea to Bernie. I don't know how high up he is. He might float the idea and it might actually start a discussion. Now, mind you, if they start a direct democracy discussion at the Bernie level, they're going to kill Bernie and y'all going to be, y'all going to get Bernie killed. But unfortunately, the psychopaths that run this world killing entire nations of people. So we got to get real discussions going on. And anything you make go viral, the media will play, right? Because I mean, the media is owned by those corporations that are in league, but still at the end of the day, they're going to create news that people will watch and read. And they'll try to spin it, but if we can get direct democracy in a discussion, if we can get Venus Project in a discussion, and we own the discussion, then we can get somewhere. You know, we can get somewhere. I just disagree with this idea. And Sean had the idea, like Trump folks do, is that you can make presidents do what you want. And I disagree with that. I don't think that the billionaires that run our world have any interest in you making a president do anything. Now, if you got everybody, yeah, you can do that. But, you know, if the Bernie people get up there and they get Bernie doing what they want him to do, the Trump people are going to revolt. If Trump actually did what the Trump people wanted, the Bernie people would revolt. Why? Because everything's conflict and you keep sides against each other. That's why everybody has to come together. And the only way you do that, leave everybody alone. Have respect for them. Damn it, don't tell them they got to put tape on the nipples and hope they don't do what we do, walk outside with no shirts on. That's what you got to do, but you got to give them that freedom. You can't tell women that they got body parts that are unacceptable in public. That is psychopathically enslavish, unfair inequality. And it's a damn shame that the Washington state actually got together and had those discussions and spent millions of dollars. And the only thing they could come up with after they did all of that, wrote a bill, is hate for a part of a woman's body. Now, personally, I hope that women don't do that. I hope y'all don't do that. I hope that you keep your nipples to yourself. Then again, it's not a woman thing because I hope that the men keep your nipples to yourself too. I don't want to see none of that. I don't. I want to be in the Venus Project in my own little house right here, and I got woods around. I can walk around bucket naked, right? Because the only place you get vitamin D3 that goes to your immune system is from the sun. I want to do that, but damn it, I don't need to see what y'all got cooking. Not my business. Now the bears could see it. No, not the bears. The deer can see it. The birds can see it, but the birds don't care. They look at us like we're stupid anyway. They don't want to talk to us. Yeah, we got a world to fix, people. It's Freedom Friday. All right, I'm gonna do some comments and I'm gonna get out of here. But Weaponized Lazy, they definitely are genius, and they're playing chess at using our needs to want to have a comfortable life at the expense of others' lives. And that's not acceptable. Not acceptable to me. And that was how I kind of ended the debate, is I have a line in the sand. And not the debate, the discussion. I have a line in the sand. And my line in the sand is whatever project you have, whatever solution you have, whatever group you're with, you cannot murder people. That's my line in the sand, because I am a people. Right? You can't murder people. And if you got something like that, then we can talk. But you're not going to use the American federal government to help anybody without murdering somebody else, right? Because that's the model right now. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's like when a car breaks, when the engine breaks, it's not the engine's fault. You get out the car and start, some of y'all do, they get out the car and start yelling at the engine. I see it, people, but that person has issues, right? They get out the car, smoke coming out, they pull over side of the road and start yelling at the engine like, yep, that's gonna help. The problem is you're not yelling loud enough. You need to flag down some other drivers and get them to yell at your engine. You need to shut it down. Constitutional convention. Shut it down, fix it. And I think half the time, these people in the federal government, they want us to fix it. I think the CIA wants to be a hero. I think the FBI wants to be heroes. I think the police want to be heroes. I think the firefighters want to put fires out. I think everybody wants to. I think the mail people want to deliver mail. The ones that's their passion to do so. And the rest want to go live their life and be free somewhere. I think they want to do that, but the model doesn't allow them to do that. The model only allows them to watch me right now so I can get flagged, so they can give me a shoe with a little needle in it with the little bacteria that causes cancer to kill Bob Marley. That's what they're doing right now. They don't want to do that. They don't want to kill me. And that's why that CIA guy said it on his deathbed. He feels sorry. He said he actually, the only person he killed, 11 people? For the CIA, for the American government, so that I can have delicious coffee in the morning. He said the only one he regretted was Bob Marley. Now, I don't know if that's true. I actually don't care if that's true. That's not true. I was hoping somebody went to Snopes when I posted that. Nobody went to Snopes. Nobody posted to Snopes neither, because I ain't gonna post no Snopes link because you're gonna be a smart egg. Yeah, actually I am. That's exactly what I was gonna do. But I don't really care. I don't really care. It doesn't matter if it's true, right? How many Bob Marleys do they murder a day? How many Bob Marleys are murdered in my name all over the world? Endless, right? So it doesn't matter if they killed that Bob Marley. They killed Bob Marley's family. They killed his nieces and nephews all over this planet in some of the poorest countries, which are my nieces and nephews, which are your nieces and nephews. So it doesn't matter if they killed that one specifically. They kill in general. And I don't think they want to do that. I think they're like the police. They're like me. They're like you. They simply want to survive. And they understand if they don't have money in the bank account, that they got to go live in a third world country or in a prison. And they don't want to do that. And so they're going to do their job. Like I do my job, like you do your job. The problem is the model, not them. All right. Weeds are medicine. Yes, Maha, weeds are medicine, because as we evolved on this planet, we ate the weeds. That's what we had to the most when we were like little marsupials walking around eating all the greens and herbs and things on the ground. Our bodies learn how to solve problems with all those weeds. So you don't actually have weeds, which is part of the reason why they want you to kill off the dandelions. But we didn't really care. As kids, we used to blow them in your yard. But that's why there's no such thing as a medicinal plant or superfood. It's just food. Our body learned how to solve problems with food. You don't eat the food, you're going to get sick in a disease. You're going to get a disease. Stop killing the weeds. Start growing things that regulate the weeds. If you don't know who Lane Ingham is, take a look. Take a look. She's a famous soil microbiologist from the Rodale Institute. Speaking of weed, never mind. Go on, Janet. Science is God. I agree, Matthew. Science is God and God is science. I don't know why people debate that anymore. They're merging. We just need to be honest about the bits of God, religion they got wrong and the bits of science that they got wrong, right? Because they get pseudo-ish. Nobody actually knows it all. There are ancient people who wrote texts, who wrote down what they perceived, and what they perceived sometimes is wrong. What they heard sometimes is wrong. Science, what they do sometimes is wrong. And I'm sorry to hear it, California, because apparently they're using science to take away your exemptions with vaccinations. I tend my weeds, thank you. And that's what you should do, Maha, because your weeds are doing a job. You know what I mean? It's like inflammation. Your doctors are out there fighting inflammation. Inflammation's doing a job. It's called your white blood cells and macrophages actually solving a problem. Now you can regulate the inflammation so you don't have pain. You can regulate weeds so your dandelions and your tomatoes and peppers come up. Your basil can get a little sun, but you don't kill them all off with a toxic chemical that ends up in our water that's a carcinogen, right? We can help nature. We can go along with nature. We can help balance out nature, but we got to stop trying to dominate it. Cannabis can save the world. Yes, Daniel, and it is. And it always was, which is why they're trying to destroy it. But we're slowly making a comeback. And that is actually the states fighting the federal government, which is a good thing, right? They fought the federal government on that, but they need to fight completely, right? Because, I mean, again, they're leaving the engine running and they're trying to fix the carburetor. You can fix a few things. You can change the air filter while the engine's running. I've done that before, but you're not going to fix the engine. You can do little tiddlywink stuff around on the outside, but the states have to step up. There are only two things that are designed to fix our federal government, and that's the states and the Second Amendment. And trust me, you see them around here. There's enough people who are trying to use the Second Amendment, and that's a bad idea. Always a war in the media. Always a war when the media says it. Yep, Lori, and there's also a lot of wars and rumors of wars that they don't really talk about. And the wars that they're killing the most in, they never make it on the news. All you got to do is talk to the military. Ask them off record. Ask them when there are no cell phones around. Because their kid, the 22 a day are dying, and it's not because the government's poisoning the water and the food. It's because they're doing things that are unfathomable, and they don't want to do those things. It's not okay for a human being to murder another human being. It makes us psychopaths. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship to God is to not hurt or harm any of his beings, we are loving God. Meher Baba. Ron, what you doing this morning? Ron is in India this morning. That's okay. I listen to a lot of things from the cradle of civilization as well. To do no harm, right? But understand that we're always doing harm. We're always doing harm because the world was designed to make us all sellouts. The world was designed to make us all do harm. We're either trying to do less or we're okay doing harm. I'm not okay with doing harm. That's the Hippocratic oath. Checkers, all pieces are equal. In chess, there's a hierarchy. They play chess. Ooh, go on, Susan. Look how she spun that. Y'all see that? But there are more pawns than any other piece, and a pawn can take the king. Go on, sir. Did you start doing live streams yet? What the hell is wrong with you, Susan? You need to get on your camera. Susan, she got some deep thoughts. And that's the exact point. They got the hierarchy, but even with the game, the pawn can take the king. That's why I said, I don't worry about how many people watch. We were talking about that last night. Brother Sean said, yeah, it's a bunch of people on or something. So, you know what? All it takes is one. All it takes is one person in the right place. That's all it takes to take down the entire system, to end the game so we can build something that's not psychopathic. Just take one. It just takes one pawn, the right kid. If you think there's a conflict between God and science, your version of one or both isn't big enough. Thank you, Patricia. Exactly. God, whatever science is, that's that God thing. And it doesn't mean it has a form. It's on a cloud of smoke, a puff. We have no idea what it is. But it has significant influence in whatever the hell all of this is. And science is the seeking of it. And to me, the religions and the ancient texts were things that people saw that were scientific that they didn't understand. And that doesn't take any omnipotence or holiness or anything out of God. It just means that you got a Vatican that's hiding the rest of the scriptures from it. It means you got a pope that doesn't want to tell you what the Lady of Fatima? They got a message from one of the little G gods, and the Pope don't want to tell you about that. I was looking at that last night. The message from Fatima, I think it's called. I know Susan probably knows about that. Where there was a solar event that occurred. I guess when was that? That was like in the 30s or 40s. I don't know when it was. Let me see if I can do a quick search. And a message came down. Thousands of people went out. It's like once a month. The sun parted. There was a glowing orb in the sky before we actually had airplanes. Message from, I think it's called Fatima. I have to research it. I don't know a whole lot about it. But the crowd came out, and thousands of people for a couple months in a row. And finally, a message was given, and the little girl gave the Pope the message. And the Pope said, we can't tell the people, because what was the Pope's excuse for that? We can't tell the people because the people wouldn't take it right or wouldn't know how to take it, or the people would revolt or something. Yeah, well, they hide the scriptures from you, they hide science from you, they hide all that from you, because if people actually, I think, embraced reality, we wouldn't be okay with the psychopathic system that controls us. Even the church is trying to control you. Everything's trying to control you. Everything needs power. And how do I know that? Because the church has a bank account. If it's got a bank account, you can't trust it. You can't trust it. They put money between us and survival. All right, how you going? This is Gerard. I got to get going. Y'all have a great day. It is Freedom Friday. Go enjoy your freedom this weekend. And think about letting kids enjoy that in the future every day. Just because we slave away and we're picking cotton and we've got a world based in conflict and destruction doesn't mean that they have to. We can free them if we want to. All right, how you going? Operation Popeye. Yes, it is Sheepless in Seattle. I didn't see YouTube. Operation Popeye, and for people won't research it. You know why? Because they weaponized lazy. They won't research all the Freedom of Information Act requests that shows you that you have a government that cannot be trusted. You have a government that doesn't even trust itself. It needs to be fixed. All right, but we're weaponized lazy. That's why people don't research. We need to grow the hell up. I gotta go. Y'all have a great weekend. This is Gerard. I'm out. Bye-bye. Love y'all.
They have no technical capabilities. They don't know how to solve problems. Even if they were sincere, they don't know how to solve problems. It's the technicians that produce the desalinization plants. It's the technicians that give you electricity, that give you motor vehicles, that heat your house and cool it in the summertime. It's technology that solves problems, not politics. Politics cannot solve problems because they're not trained to do so. Instead of putting up a sign, drive carefully, slippery when wet, put abrasive in the highway so it's not slippery when wet. And if a person gets in a car, they're drunk, and the car oscillates a great deal, there's a little pendulum that swings up and back, and that'll pull the car over to the side. Not a law. Solution. Put sonar and radar in automobiles so they can't hit one another. Man-made laws are attempts to deal with occurring problems, and not knowing how to solve them, they make a law. You can't find the answers by declaring a society democratic. You can only find the answers by research and development. You can't find the answers by putting people of high moral character in government. You can only find the answers by innovation, by studying the systems and the problems, and working on methods of alleviating those problems, not through law. Law is when you don't have a method of solving a problem. If people steal or hurt one another, you say it's against the law to hurt somebody. Well, if a person doesn't have the means to live by, he's going to hurt somebody to get the money or whatever they need. So that isn't dealing with a problem. Law is really avoiding problems. It's just nailing a proclamation on the wall saying, you don't do this. You see, it doesn't work. In the long run, you might cause people to consider an action before they take it, but all laws come into existence because of scarcity. Always difficult to imagine that. When there's scarcity of water, people will steal it, remove it, if not for themselves, for their children. So all the laws in the world, but if you don't want people to steal water, you build an electric fence around the water. See, and this is the way you say, you don't need to put up a sign, don't steal water. But those people will die. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to build a fence around our country, say, this is the greatest country in the world, we're going to keep it that way. We depend on other countries. If we live to ourselves, I can assure you, we'll die of ourselves. Because if the Russians do nuclear testing and they dump radioactive stuff into the sea, or the Japanese, the world is one big place, and the air moves around, and the waters move. Therefore, living to yourself, your little isolated colony, your little culture that you want to build, your little city that you want to build of people with like-mindedness. All of that has no basis for survival, because in the event of catastrophic failure, you will be invaded by the minorities if they don't have food, water, or the wherewithal to live. If you eradicate the conditions that generate what you call socially offensive behavior, it does not exist. The guy said, well, isn't that inborn? No, it's not. War, poverty, corruption, hunger, misery, human suffering will not change in a monetary system. That is, there'll be very little significant change. It's going to take the redesign of our culture, our values, and it has to be related to the carrying capacity of the earth, not some human opinion or some politician's notions of the way the world ought to be, or some religious notions of the conduct of human affairs. So we have many people in government, politicians they call them, and they say things people like to hear. They say things that's the only way they can get elected, because they say most of you are wrong in the way you're brought up. They'll never make it. You understand that? So politicians say things people like to hear. If a politician discovered that the earth was round, if you want to get along with people when they all believe it was flat, you can say, folks, it's a little round and a little flat. And you get along with most people. And this is the business of science, to get along with people. Our business is to say, if you believe the earth is flat, this is the evidence we have to show that it's round. Present the evidence. That's the best you can do. But when you cater to people's beliefs, you're holding back. You're dishonest. You're corrupt. That's why politicians can never be honest, because they depend on voting. They depend on people supporting them. So the people will support them if they're ignorant.